Welcome back to Introduction to Engineering Design. Today we're working on activity 4.2, question number 4. As you can see on your screen, this is what you'll be modeling. It's a pear cam. Essentially, it's got a bottom lobe that is a radius of 1.25 inches. It's got a top lobe, radius of 0.5 inches, offset directly above the center of the bottom lobe by 1.75 inches. So let's start this out in Solidworks as a sketch in the front plane. And I'm going to start out by drawing the construction line that forms the distance between the bottom lobe center and the top lobe center, 1.75 inches. So if you haven't, get Solidworks started up, pause the video while you wait. All right, my Solidworks is up. I'm going to go File, New Part. On the Sketch tab, I'll hit the Sketch button, and we'll start a sketch in the front plane. As I mentioned, I want to select a construction line. Remember a construction line. Construction lines used to define some geometry. We call those center lines in SolidWorks. So I'll click the center line, and I'm going to sketch my line up. Drop my line. You'll notice I got the vertical glyph, and I'm going to give a dimension to that line. 1.75 inches. That will help me to size the overall model. I'm going to start out by using a center point arc. Now notice the center point arc. It's got 3 dots on it, meaning that I'll click once to drop the center point, a second time to drop one edge of the arc, and a third time to drop the other edge of the arc where I want it to end. So I'll click the drop down, choose center point arc. I'm going to drop the middle of the bottom lobe on the origin, extend it out somewhere above vertical. And I'm going to click once, drop it, and you'll see me pull it out and drop it a second time, again above vertical. When I'm happy with that arc, I can come right up and do the top arc, same way. Click once to drop my center point. Click a second time to drop my arc, and I draw my arc coming around here. I'm not really concerned where they go. From here, the easiest way to connect these is to choose the line tool, and I'll click on the line tool, and then click on the end of one arc, draw to the end of the second arc. Accept it. Choose my line tool again, click on the end of one arc, and connect it to the end of the second arc. And you'll notice it shades gray, meaning it's a closed body. Now, one thing you're going to notice here is when these arcs move around, you see how it's not smooth? Well, that's not what we want. We want tangent. So the way I can establish a relationship between two entities is I can click on the first entity. Now, notice when I hover over it, I get the arc. If I hover over, I get what looks like a dot, meaning the end point. And if I get near the middle, you'll see I get the midpoint. What I really want is I really want the arc itself. So I click on the arc and it highlights. You'll notice any relationships between the arc appear over here on the left hand side, and there are no relationships. Now I'm going to hold my control key down and click on the line a second time. Now I've chosen both of these entities, the arc and the line, and they're highlighted blue. I can add some different relationships. I could make them tangent, equal curve length, or fix them. Fix is generally a bad thing in a sketch. We want to fix our sketches using dimensions and relationships, not just nailing them down to in the space. So I'm going to choose tangent here. You'll see right away I get a smooth transition from the line to the arc. Accept that. And let's do that again, but I'll show you a different way to do it. I can come up here and click my drop down and click Add a Relation. Now I don't need to hold the control key down, and I can click as many different things as I want. Again, tangent between that left line and the bottom arc. Accept it. And I'll add a relation. Top arc, right line. Ooh, got too many things selected there. Let me clear my selections. Top arc, right line. Tangent. And add one more relation. bottom arc, right line, tangent. So there I've just drawn my basic shape. Let's add some dimensions. The bottom dimension is 1.25, the top is 0.5. Now what you're going to notice, because we established tangency between these, when I start to give dimensions to my arcs, 1.25, it's going to suddenly become fully defined. 1.5. Oops, 0.5. Type that in wrong. And there I have dimensions of my arc. You'll notice it's fully defined. We're almost done. Let's go ahead and cut a square out. And this square in your project, your automata project, you're going to notice that this square is used as a drive peg. We size it slightly differently. We use a slightly different rod. But this is an 1/8 inch by an 1/8 inch, 0.125 by 0.125. To draw that, I'm going to use the center rectangle right up here. You'll notice if I click the drop down, I've got corner rectangle, which we used earlier. Today we're going to use a center rectangle. 2 clicks, drop the center, and then pull it up. It's highlighted. I'm going to drop it on the center of the origin, pull it out just a little bit, and drop it. I'm going to zoom in now so I can smart dimension, and I'm just going to dimension this 0.125, and it is a perfect square, so I don't need to do the other side. You'll see that it became fully defined right away. At this stage, we've got our sketch done. Go ahead and extrude it. You can extrude it blind or mid-plane, 0.5. I'll go to Features, Extruded Boss, and I'm going I think it was 125 actually. 0.125. Now notice that it guessed that I didn't want that center point selected. I can select that center point to extrude if I want to in this selected contours, but we're going to leave it like that. And there you have it, a finished cam. Now one more thing I wanted to show you. I'm going to start a new sketch, and I'm going to start on the front plane. And I just want to show you one other thing here. And this you've probably stumbled upon. If I draw a line, and I drop it, and I pull away from it, come back and touch it by accident, it turns into an arc. And you're going to notice it turns into a tangent arc. So that's one way, another way to draw arcs. When you get better at it, you can do that. The other way you can draw an arc is draw the line and pull it away, hit the A button. That creates an arc. Just like that. So one more tool for your toolbox. I'll go ahead and delete all that. Save this part as in your Westwood Engineering folder for your hour in your folder that you've already made. And go ahead and save this as 4.2 question 4. Thanks for watching.